Hey everyone, it's that math magician, and on this video we're going to take another look at how to solve a system of equations using one of the three methods that we've learned in the previous videos. Now just to have a quick recap, remember that we're looking at equal values method. That's when we have two equations equal to the same variable. We're looking at substitution method. That's when we have one equation equal to the same variable. And finally, our third method down there is the elimination method, which is when we have no equations equal to the same variable. Now let's go ahead and look at our two equations here. We have our system, and I see that my first equation says that x equals 3 plus y. The second equation is 4x plus y equals 2. Now I think this would be a great candidate for the substitution method because I see here that x equals 3 plus y. I know what x equals. It equals that expression there, 3 plus y. So this is definitely a substitution method because I have one equation that's equal to a variable. Now with the substitution method, it says that if I know any variable and it equals an expression, 3 plus y in our case, let's take that expression, 3 plus y, and let's substitute that in for x in the second equation, because that's what x equals. We know that x equals 3 plus y, so we'll substitute that into this x, and then we'll be able to combine those two equations so that we can solve for a variable. So let's go ahead and see how this works. I'm going to rewrite this second equation down here. But instead of writing my x variable, you'll notice that I wrote a set of parentheses. I'm using that because we know what x equals here. X equals 3 plus y. So instead of writing that x, I'm going to write 3 plus y. So now I have a single equation here with a single variable, only a y here, that now I can definitely solve. So let's go ahead and solve it. First step here is I need to distribute that 4 into both terms inside of the parentheses. Well, 4 times 3 will give me 12. 4 times y will give me 4y. I'll bring over here the plus y, and that still equals 2. So what I've done is I've just distributed that 4 to each term inside the parentheses, creating 12 plus 4y. Now the next step is to combine any like terms we see. Well, over here on the right side, I see that I have a 4y plus a y. I can definitely combine those two terms together to create plus 5y's. I'll bring down the 12, and I'll still have the equals 2 on the right side. Now for the next part, I want to move that constant over to the right side. Very similar to how we do that in the equal values method. I want to get this y variable all by itself, so I'll move that 12 over to the right side by subtracting 12 on both sides. I do that because here on the left side, the 12's zero out. I'm left with just my positive 5y, and on the left, I have 2 minus 12. Well, 2 minus 12 becomes a negative 10. So now look where I'm at. I have an equation. I have my y variable all by itself on the left side. My constants are on the right. And now for my last step, all I have to do is get that y variable by itself by dividing both sides by the coefficient of 5. By doing that, the 5's on the left simplify to a 1. So I'm just left with y equals negative 10 divided by 5. Well, that leaves us with negative 2. So there we go. I now know that my variable here for y equals negative 2. Again, two equations here. I'm trying to figure out where they intersect. What's that point where those two equations have the same solution? Well, now I know that they intersect when y is negative 2. But now I have to figure out what's the x value. Again, I could pick and choose which equation I want to use, but we always want to use, at least with the substitution method, I know what x equals. We know that x equals 3 plus y. So since I'm trying to find out what x equals, let's go ahead and reuse that equation over here. X equals 3 plus y. But again, I'm going to take what I know for y. I know that y equals -2. So I drop in that value for y. Y equals -2. I rewrite this equation now, but instead of writing that y variable, I write a -2. And now we have an equation that we can definitely solve. X equals 3 plus -2. Well, that's the same thing as 3 minus 2. And 3 minus 2 equals 1. So there we go. I now know my solution for these two equations right there. They're going to intersect at the point 1, -2. Remember, an ordered pair is always x first and then your y variable. So x is 1, y is -2. All right, guys, it's that Math Magician, and I'll see you on the next video.